Okay, my tablet glitched out for a second. I don't know what that was. Okay, so I'm just gonna go over basic with these and maybe show or tell like how I did it. I can't really show you because my loom is empty. Um, but I'll do my best to kind of like explain. And then maybe like in the future I'll put like a video up of how I make some of these. Maybe not. Maybe. Well, it depends on what I have time for. So first, I guess I can go through what I've made with the polyester loops. So the polyester loops are typically what you would get in like a regular craft box. Like that comes with this. It comes with your own hook, and it comes with like some packs of a whole bunch of different colors, and they're usually made for kids because they're really stretchy and they're soft. The downside to these is that you can't use them for like actual pot holding. Like this kind of material will most certainly melt if you put like something that just came off the stove onto one of these, and that's why like they're mostly just for decoration. Like these loops, you can just kind of take a thumbtack, put it in the wall, and be like, look at what my kid made. I make these, and I also make wool ones that you can actually use as pot holders, but these ones are mostly for decoration, and I make these if I have no other loops really. This is a nice Halloween one. No other loops to really use, like, and I just want to weave. There's this one. Nice little sunset one, and then I got these two. I think that this one may be like my actual favorite one that I've ever made, at least one of them, because it has so many colors in it. And that's another cool thing about like those craft kits is you get like all these unique colors, and you end up like buying like a bulk bag. You only get maybe like 6 of them. With these kits, you get like I want to say like 12, 10 or 12 colors. I'll set this over here, so I know that I already showed you. Let's see. Just looking for more little polyester ones because I've got quite a few. Okay. So here's some more. So this one, you may notice, looks a little bit different than this one. So let's see, I'll use this as an example. So this one uses the same material as this one. So like they're both polyester. This one I made normally, like you know, where you just take the loops and you stretch it over the loom, even and under, whatever. This one, I actually went in and I cut the loops in half. So like whereas they're a circle, I cut them, and so now they're a long strand, and then I just put one strand across one peg, and then kind of made my own new loop with a different colors. So it's basically like a two-sided loom band, and then I interwove all those. So instead of going over and under the entire loop, I went in between each of them. I do not recommend this. I will probably never make something ever again because of how long it took me. To how much attention to detail you have to have with these because I still ended up missing a couple loops in here. Despite trying my hardest not to, I usually do really good catching my mistakes and I can go in and reweave it. But once this is all kind of like woven together, you can't really take it apart unless you never want to see it look like this again. So this was just kind of like a lesson learned. So if you ever want to do something like this, just make sure you pay attention because I did not pay attention. More polyester polyholders. This is another one of my favorites I've made. I really like making rainbow ones. I think that they're cool, especially when you have like the same solid color going all throughout. So I did like this side I did white color, or what did I do? Oh no, I did a rainbow color black, and then throughout the whole the loom I put white. So it kind of came out as a really nice checker. And look at that. I love the finished edges to these things. Like the finishing of these is the most important step in making a powder, in my opinion. Because it just like it's the finish, you know, it's like the veil goes over it, like oh it's all poof. And you have these really nice like braided edges. Coffee break. And these are the other two polyester ones that I have left to show you. This one I made a long time ago. I know that. This one I made, I think like maybe ago. A week or two ago. Who knows? So now, I'll show you. Oh, I have one more polyester one. It's a rainbow one I did. 3 blocks of 6 in each color going over the weave and the warp. I think that's what you call it, the weave, the warp. Who knows? Some old lady can probably help me with that. Let's move on to my wool ones. So the wool ones, these ones you can actually use like pot holder for these, or you can put a hot pot on them. Or what I really like to do is like hold a really hot bowl of soup, and it doesn't like burn your hands. You don't have to use like extra paper towel. You just use one of these. They're machine washable. I think the polyester ones probably are too, but I know that these ones are machine washable. I just wouldn't put them in the dryer because I don't know if they'll shrink. I don't know. I'm not a laundry expert. So these are some of the ones that I've made. Nice red and black Spider-Man looking one. This one, I did 2 of these in the wool. Remember how I said like, oh, I would never do this again, like because of all the effort that it took. I did it 2 more times. 2 more times. And so I basically just did the same thing. I cut the loops in half and then interwove all of them. These, I will say, they take twice the amount of loops as a regular pot holder, and you would think, well, they're smaller and you've got smaller like patterns, like wouldn't that not take as many loops? It does take twice as many loops because excuse me, you're basically taking 2 loops, cutting them in half and then turning them into 1 loop with this method. I think I might actually make a video on these because these came out really cool. Like I think I made this one before I made this one. It's got a little crinkle in it, but I like the edges of these ones because they're tied together. They kind of come off with like a nice frill, and I really like that. Here's the rainbow one. This one was like my Hail Mary. It was like my last one that I was gonna do. I was like, if this, like, I really wanted to get it to look right because I didn't like how this one had 2 rows of the blue and yellow and then only 1 row each of the red and green. So I was like, I'm gonna make every single one of these ones a different color. And I think it came out really good. It satisfied my itch for that project, so I just was like, I'll save myself the pain of doing any more. Hi, pig. So this one I actually mixed materials. Now I don't know if you have thought of doing this. If you think you can do it, you can. You can do anything with this thing. The possibilities are endless. So what I ended up doing was I mixed the polyester and the wool together, and it gave it like a completely different look, different texture. You've got different like feels in here if you like feeling different materials like me. I just did so then like what I would like a rule I guess I would say for mixing materials is use equal amounts so that because you know polyester is tighter and it's gonna pull your loom or your weave closer together. So kind of like we just take these two and compare them. They have the same amount of loops, but this one's smaller because there's higher tension. So if you're gonna mix these 2 materials together, you're gonna want equal amounts so that one end of the weave doesn't like warp in a weird way or one end is tighter than the other. It's all even. Oh. So this is another rainbow one I did. This one was from a while ago. I know that. I don't know when, where, why, or how, but I did that one a while ago. Can't remember when I did this one, but it's another rainbow one. I really like mixing these colors together, doing like different patterns and stuff. What do you think? You like that one? Where is that? Here's this one. This one I actually, this was really hard. I would not recommend this because I still haven't like gotten it down completely, but I tried to weave a letter into this one. Tried to do N. Nikki for my mom, but it came out really poop, so I didn't give it to her. Um, okay, so we're kind of reaching the end of like the basic ones. Basic. So I will go ahead and show off these last few that I have. Some of them are polyester. Two of them are polyester, one's wool. I think I already showed this one to you guys. I don't know. So this one was really frustrating, and it doesn't look that frustrating. Like you look at it and you're like, wow, Mackenzie, it looks like a normal potholder. I weaved it like super weird. Like I tried to do like a diagonal potholder, like I did like this, and then I weaved it like this instead of up and down and across. And I was like, so when I finish this, it's gonna come out like a really cool diamond pattern. No, it came out like a regular square because I don't know if you've heard, but diamonds are also squares if you just turn them a little bit. So maybe if I hold it like this, it will give me some sense of like accomplishment, but it doesn't. This one is actually unique. I put beads on the end of it because I also love beading, and I was like, I wonder what I can do with beads with this, and it's actually really cool. So like if you alternate, so see how I did orange on this side, and then there's white on this side. So I put a bead on the end of each loop, every loop that went around, this whole powder. So each loop has two, and I alternated. So I did white, and then I did this kind of like translucent orange. And if you alternate, one side will have one color, and the other side will have the other color. So it's pretty cool looking. Like I mean, to me at least. And I would like to do more with this, but the beads really will only do well with the polyester loops because of how hard they are to get like on the actual loop. I haven't tried it with wool because I just figured that the wool would be too thick, but I had to like literally use a paper clip to like thread these loops into the beads. So you want them to be like stretchy and slippery with that kind of material if you're going to put beads on it, and I wouldn't recommend doing it with wool. I haven't tried it yet. Maybe I will recommend it. Who knows? So now we're going to get into the weird ones. Now, weird ones I would describe as like ones that don't come with loops in a bag for you, basically. So these ones I made my own loops with. I used my own material. I used my own mind, basically, and this loom. So everything that I'm about to show you, I made with this. So I am running out of loops right now, and I was like, well, I wonder if I can use like fabric scraps to make pot holders because I've seen people make t-shirts with or make pot holders with t-shirts, and I don't have any t-shirts that I want to like cut up and use. So I just kind of took strips of fabric, tied them together like I would with a regular loop for this loom, and then I would just kind of weave them together. And the backs aren't very pretty because I used fabric on one side. This was the first one that I made, and you can kind of tell because there's knots and it's all frumpy. These I don't have any intention of like hanging up and displaying. These are mostly just to get like my creative itch out, I guess you could say, because they don't really look that good. The fabric frays in a lot of places, but hey, I made something, and that's good, right? I can't. This is the front of this one. I really like this one. And I like the finished edges of these. I like how they look messy. I like how they look scrappy. Like, I don't know, I just feel that. They look more homemade. This one's one of my favorites. What sucks is that it frayed so much in here. And it's like, even if you try to clip those, excuse me, they won't, like, stop fraying. So I just kind of leave them be. I don't touch them. I probably won't make a bag out of any of these because of the fabric. If I was to, like, fully commit to a big project, making a quilt or a bag, I'd probably use a different material, probably something like fleece or something that doesn't fray as much. And now we're gonna get into the really weird ones, more weird ones. So this, I actually love how this one came out. I made this with yarn. So basically, this took a lot of work. I did not crochet this. I weaved this on my loom, and it took me probably, I want to say like 2 or 3 hours to do this whole thing. And then I just finished it like a normal pot holder at the top. There's some knots hanging out of it. It's not the best, but I made it. and it's really cool, at least to me. This one, I just did the other day. It's not finished because I realized how long it was going to take and I didn't want to finish it, so I cut it off and used my loom for something else, which makes me stress. Like, you should probably have two of these in case you're like me and you have one project that you want to do, you don't finish it, and then before you finish it, you have another project that you want to work on, but you don't want to scrap the other one. Get another one of these. I only have one. My last one broke. This is another teeny little weave that I did. I put some beads on the bottom of it to try and make it look prettier. It just kind of looks like it just looks weird, but you can see like the interweavings in there. I did all of that with a sewing needle. I think I did this one with just, you know, going over and under, over and under. This one, oh my god, ask me how I made the one because I do not remember and I will never recreate it again in my life, but I did this one. And this one, if you remember this one from like 5 minutes ago, I weaved it diagonally onto my loom to see if I could do something cute with it. Because I used yarn, it was still really loose and it wasn't going to finish. Like, it wasn't going to hold together. So then I went through and I put threads in there diagonally. It's not uniform at all. Like, it's, I don't know, it's just something that I did, something I needed to try to figure out how it was going to end up. And that's the cool thing about crafting, is even if it sucks, you have a physical representation of a process that you did and what you learned from it. And I think that's pretty cool. These two I made out of the same material, just finished them a little bit differently. This one's a little bit tighter, like it kind of holds the shape better. Really like the feel of it. And this one's a little bit looser. It's kind of uglier because it's got knots hanging out of it, but I think I made this one before I made this one. Oh, this weird little thing. I don't know, I had a scarf that I had laying around and I cut it up into a whole bunch of little pieces and weaved it, and I think it looks cool. It's just, there's not much I can really do with it. It's just kind of like a rectangle. Okay, and here, I actually just finished this like yesterday, but here is bless you. Anyway, well, 25% of a quilt. I have to make 4 of these total to, in my mind, make a nice quilt, but here, I'll show off all of them up close. But this is 15 little squares. This alone probably took me about 2 hours to stitch together, so I literally just went around each one, and, well, I think what I did first was I stitched these rows together, and then I went along and stitched them together. But the majority of these squares I did in like one day. I did maybe like 10 of these in one day because I was like really binging on this. And then a couple of them I made a few weeks ago, and then I just stitched them all together. I need to get more loops to finish this. This is also when I really tried to mix my materials together. So you can see the mix of polyester and wool in there. This one's, I really like this one. I tried to make like a meadowy kind of look. I don't know if you can really interpret that from it. Coffee break. Now I'm going to show you. You have these pot holders, but they're just squares. What do you do with them besides hold pots with them? Well, okay, here. You can make purses. This is the first purse, not the very first one. I had one I made a long time ago when I was a kid, but this is the first purse that I made that I actually like used and walked around with it. It was one of my neighbors. But anyway, here's the purse I made. I didn't use this one for very long because the straps are pretty weak, and I used the actual loops. Here's another bag that I made. I didn't add a strap to this one. I added a little bit of a button, and then I braided I added like little braids or something, whatever, little clasps. This is a completely different thing. I made a friendship bracelet sample thing, I guess. Can't really fit much in there, but there's that. This bag that I made, I didn't add a strap to it yet. I might take it apart because it's a little bit uneven. Let's see if you want to close it. There's a little thing right here. And here's my purse that I use. every day right now at this point. So there's that. I literally hot glued the lining in there because I don't sew. Here's the other side. This took what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 pot holders. And then this strap, I bought like this fabric from Hobby Lobby, and then I stitched more buttons on it than I can ever count. More buttons that are in the stars in the galaxy. And then in this little purse, I have my matching wallet. And this was my old purse that I made, and I upcycled it. I used it for maybe like a year. And then I cut the strap off of it, threw some buttons on there, put some lining in there, and made a wallet to go with my super cute potholder purse. Alright, and that is about it. So if you enjoyed this video, you don't have to do anything but move on, I guess. If you liked it, like it. If you have a question on how I made something, comment. I might respond. But yeah, this is my life right now. Peace.